she's also a great human, and she garners a lot of respect, just both on and off the court. But no, nothing was said. I literally just...
Hello, guys. Welcome back. So here we go. The Minnesota Lynx took care of business against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, but the biggest story wasn't just the final score. It was what Courtney Williams, Cheryl Reeve, and Olivia Miles had to say after the game. Their post-game comments gave a lot of insight into how much respect the Lynx have for Caitlin Clark and this Fever squad, even after getting the win. Courtney Williams didn't sugarcoat anything. She made it clear that guarding Caitlin Clark is a nightmare because of the pressure she puts on a defense from the moment she crosses half court. Every possession demands attention, and that's what makes Clark so dangerous. Cheryl Reeve echoed those thoughts. She admitted that the Indiana Fever offense is a serious challenge and said this first matchup was really about both teams learning each other. According to Reeve, now that they've seen each other's strengths and weaknesses, the next meeting is going to be an absolute war. There won't be many surprises the second time around. Olivia Miles also acknowledged the intensity of competing against Caitlin Clark and the Fever. So, despite the Lynx celebrating the victory, the message from everyone was the same. Nobody is overlooking Indiana. Now, let's break down everything Courtney Williams and Cheryl Reeve said, because their brutally honest comments reveal exactly how much respect Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever have earned.
Court, Caitlin Clark is obviously a friend of yours. You wore her shoes for the All-Star game.
For sure.
To play against her and to be the dagger at the end of the game, how good does that feel? And did y'all do any trash talking before the game?
I'm crying. No, that's my girl, though. Hey, K. Mitch, my girl, too. Man, just great players, man. It don't be like no negative trash talk. It's all just fun and games, but that's my girl, man. She asked me why I ain't wear her shoes. I'm like, come on, bro. I can't wear your shoes against you.
The defensive assignment you had. I mean, what was it like, on that side of the ball facing up against a team like that?
It's tough. I mean, Kelsey Mitchell is legit one of the best basketball players I think I've ever seen. And her ability to just move you and catch you off guard so quickly, and her misdirection's insane. So it's hard to not be a fan in those moments because obviously we're competing against each other. But yeah, definitely a tough defensive assignment, and it takes a team, to defend the Fever for sure.
Also, just wanted to ask you about Court. She hit some clutch shots coming down the stretch. Defense on Mitchell in the second half was pretty darn good. Just, what's it like when Court's playing this way?
Oh, it's so fun. She's literally such a role model for me. I love her so much. I'm serious. Like, she is so special to me because she's allowed me to be me, and watching her flourish and watching her be so selfless for this team, whatever, we need is so special. And, when she has her moments and she's jab stepping and getting to her pull up and getting to her spots, I'm like, it's different. Like, she's different out there. So it's just fun as a teammate and as a fan to watch her hoop. And I know she probably feels the same about me, but yeah, that's my girl. Sure.
So, Courtney Williams deserves credit, and I've got to give her flowers. She had an outstanding performance, dropping 28 points and making big plays whenever the Minnesota Lynx needed them. On top of that, Courtney Williams has consistently shown respect toward Caitlin Clark instead of joining the constant criticism. That's something worth acknowledging, and I'm always going to show love to Courtney Williams for keeping it real. After the game, there was plenty of mutual respect on both sides. Courtney Williams praised Caitlin Clark, while Olivia Miles made it clear just how difficult it was trying to contain Kelsey Mitchell throughout the game. It's important to point out that Olivia Miles wasn't matched up against Caitlin Clark for most of the night, so there was no personal battle between them. Her focus was primarily on Kelsey Mitchell, who kept applying pressure offensively. Caitlin Clark and Olivia Miles only crossed paths defensively on a handful of possessions. One sequence even saw Caitlin Clark defending Olivia Miles, forcing a missed three-pointer, but that wasn't the primary matchup. Bridget Carlton handled most of the defensive assignment on Caitlin Clark, while Olivia Miles dealt with Kelsey Mitchell. Throughout the game, both teams competed hard, but continued to show respect for one another. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever gave credit to Olivia Miles and Courtney Williams as well. Now, let's get into what Cheryl Reeve had to say, because her post-game comments added another interesting layer to the conversation.
I expected two teams, like we are in August, it's August 1st, and we haven't seen each other yet. So first time playing each other. So there's a bit of a feeling out, sort of thing, and offense definitely, had their way with each of the team's defenses. Certainly knew that probably wasn't going to be sustained, and it wasn't. But, we were hoping at some point our defense could be a separator. I think the hustle plays, possessions on the glass, things like that. I mean, we didn't necessarily, obviously, you have one player get 37. That's not great. Field goal percentages, not great, right? So we're not happy with it, but, we felt like we had to really fight to win, and, glad we did that. And then next time we play them, each team's going to have a lot more information.
And then, in this game in particular, it kind of felt like Liv got going in the first half. Fee kind of comes up there in the third. Courtney, I guess, towards the end. I mean, how much of that do you get a sense with the players? Is it like trying to find the hot hand? Or I don't know, just like what do you make of those patterns? In games
I mean,
like
so
this?
like, when a player scores 23 by half, that's all we talked about is we knew that there was going to be greater challenges. We felt some of it towards the end of the second quarter, so we had a sense going into the third. I didn't think we handled it as well as we wanted to. There was times that we did, but I think a willingness to get off of it or do different things, not to put yourself in the heat where they had us. And then when Liv was out, we've got a really good player in Fee that needed to get those touches, and she made the most of them. And I thought Courtney was pretty consistent throughout, and obviously she had her time and came through for us.
Also wanted to ask you about Maya. I mean, full court press almost the entire time she's out there, deflections. Just when she's playing at that kind of pesky level, what does she do for this team?
Yeah, exactly what you saw. When she comes in, obviously we look a little different offensively, but there's for the players that were starting and that she's coming in for, or maybe a chance for Mac to guard somebody different for a little bit. She gives us a lot of flexibility, incredibly valuable. The extra possessions, I can't understate what it does for our team, and Maya has really captured that and said, okay, this is what I need to be for this team, and she does it consistently for us night in, night out.
Before the game, you had a conversation with Sophie Cunningham.
I did.
If you want to share what you talked
Absolutely
about, feel
not.
free. But
Absolutely not.
more of my question is just how important is it to have those like in-person conversations with people that
I think it's
have
great.
different
Yeah.
views?
I think it's great. I think both of us understand that we have platforms, and we both talked about wanting to more than anything educate, and there are some things that we have in common, and maybe some things you differ on, just like any issues. And I think it's how you handle things, and so it was nice to be in person for sure.
Howard was kind of flirting with foul trouble for most of the game. How do you think you guys handled? You threw some different looks at Boston. How do you think you handled that situation?
I think past the first quarter, I thought we did pretty well. I thought we did. She had her way with us, and obviously she's a terrific post player. And when she gets her position and her finishing rate is so high, it's very difficult to get her to miss when she gets into a certain spot. So, and she's added the three. So it's a really good team, as you guys know. I mean, look at who we're trying to guard, and we haven't brought up Caitlyn yet. And so Tashi had a big steal for us, a huge steal. And again, those are things that are different between winning and losing. And Tasha, having sat with 4 fouls, came in and did that for us right away. And she's battling on the glass, and really happy with Tasha's play. Yeah, for sure. You're talking about Fee's underrated defense? On length, hold, yep. No, that was important for sure.
When you have a sold-out crowd in a playoff type atmosphere like this today, how valuable is that to your team, especially the younger players?
Yeah, well, and I think Max said it earlier, our crowds have been terrific. Obviously, you expect this crowd to be a little more because of the proximity to Iowa and the fan base. There was definitely an energy in the building you could feel, and so for players, incredibly exciting. Olivia Miles, Imagine being Olivia Miles as a rookie and coming in, and there's a lot on her shoulders. And when things go well, it's a lot of fun. And then when you have moments in the game where it's a little tougher, her ability to kind of fight through different schemes and attention that she's getting, and the clutch play that she made, the three-point play to sort of put us in better position to finish out the game. That maturity as a rookie is very, very impressive.
The hustle plays ended up being one of the biggest reasons the Indiana Fever came up short in this game. Defensively, the first half was rough. Olivia Miles was getting wherever she wanted on the floor, creating shots, setting up teammates, and putting constant pressure on Indiana's defense. It took Stephanie White, that idiot, far too long to make the adjustment by trapping, blitzing, and forcing Olivia Miles to give the ball up. Once Indiana finally started blitzing her and picking up her dribble, the defense immediately looked better. They forced tougher possessions, created turnovers, and finally started getting the stops they desperately needed. But that's where another problem showed up. Even after playing good defense, they couldn't finish the possession. Minnesota kept grabbing offensive rebounds, winning loose balls, tipping passes to teammates, and extending possessions through pure hustle. That's exactly what Cheryl Reeve talked about after the game. Those extra effort plays completely changed the momentum. Even when Olivia Miles slowed down and eventually dealt with foul trouble, the Lynx never lost control because their roster is loaded with talent. Napheesa Collier stepped up and started taking over offensively. Courtney Williams kept attacking and knocking down big shots. Even with Kayla McBride not having her best offensive night, Minnesota still had multiple players capable of carrying the scoring load. That's what makes this Minnesota Lynx team so dangerous. They don't rely on one superstar. They have depth, experience, elite coaching, and players who understand their roles. Cheryl Reeve can coach her ass off, and that's a huge advantage in a playoff series. They're going to be an extremely tough out for anybody in the league. Olivia Miles had a fantastic game. Courtney Williams continued proving why she's one of the league's toughest competitors, and both players were very complimentary of the Indiana Fever backcourt after the game. As for Indiana, there's no question they're one of the most explosive offensive teams in the WNBA. But until they consistently defend at a high level, secure defensive rebounds, and win the hustle plays, they'll continue leaving opportunities on the table against elite teams like the Minnesota Lynx. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Do you agree with Cheryl Reeve's assessment? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.